Hello out there in excellent YouTube land. There was no pre-notice for this, but welcome to X Tonight. We're getting started. So let me just boost this a little bit. News time. All right. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday afternoon and night wherever you are. So we'll wait a couple minutes. Had a busy day, a lot of stuff to do around the house. I'm retired. I retired at 49. I was a teacher, bought a few years out, and now I have a lot of time on my hands. So, yeah, that's just the way it is. But I'm probably going to go back and do something because I'm fucking bored. I'm like really bored. I mean, I play fantasy football and hockey, take care of my son, take my daughter to school and pick her up, normal life. But I need something different. I need to like get back into the workforce because I'm going a little crazy. I get my retirement. But going back into teaching, that doesn't sound too appealing. State of things, the state of things, the state of education is horrible. Did you know that education is no longer a teacher passionate about his subject and students ready to learn? No, you just sit behind a desk and students go on their Chromebook, and it's all because of Bill Gates and Common Core. It's all preset for you. Can't really escape Common Core, which has been a nightmare for educators. So Common Core is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. So news time indeed. All right, let's get started with the news. It's going to be a short show, only a half hour today, but my commitment to doing this every night is steadfast. It would be easy for anybody to just pop on this thing and just look at the news, but you've got me to read it for you and talk about it, and I can entertain you with off-color jokes and weird anecdotes and whatnot. So 5:00, let's get started. The Department of Justice has announced charges against Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Phyllis McCormick. It's a weird middle name. Of Florida, so it's not Washington, D.C., so odds are she's going to face a conservative judge like Judge Cannon. So that's the case. She's fucked. But if it's in D.C., then, slap on the wrist. She diverted approximately $5 million in FEMA disaster relief funds. According to prosecutors, the charges carry a potential maximum sentence of up to 53 years in federal prison if she's convicted. Well, she's a person of color, so let me just predict how this is she's a Democrat, so let me predict how this is going to play out over the next week. Democrats are going to say, oh, Trump is a racist, just like the lady in New Jersey. They're going to rally behind her, and the Republicans won't do jack shit in terms of censure because they have no spine. What are the comments saying? Your page is basically Fox News. This is from Raw Alerts. My page is basically news. You're welcome. Diverted to what, though? Grok, give me everything about this. What does Grok say? Basically what the Post says. Stupid. When will Speaker Johnson expel her from Congress? When will he expel LaMonica McIver, the New Jersey lady I was talking about? They expelled George Santos. Why not these two? Because they're spineless. Don't you know? That's the game. Democrats are in charge. They go after you and slit your throat. Republicans in charge, they don't do anything. Joke of a party. Love Trump, but congressional Republicans are a joke. I'm sorry. How many more in Congress did the same exact thing? Seriously, how subhuman? Well, okay, I see what you did there. Dems, guys, how can we make this racist? Indeed, that angle is coming. I'm sure this is being overblown, but okay, I'll wait for more facts. I'm a Dem, and if she's guilty, then good. Put her ass in prison and throw away the key. See how easy it is to be a bipartisan MAGA? Hey, look, it's no one's been arrested o'clock again. Yeah. Andrew Colvett, same thing. Fraudsters and conmen absolutely looted government COVID-19 funds. Will probably never know the extent of the con if convicted. Yeah, 50 years in prison. My God, this guy is probably the biggest douche in all of politics. He's a Democratic senator out of California, like a California senator, not a senator of California to the U.S. Senate. But it's Scott Wiener. What a name! Yeah, that's such a fitting name for him if you know who he is. Scott Wiener announces he has introduced the No Kings Act, which he claims will make Trump's legal problems a whole lot worse. I just announced the No Kings Act, which will allow people to sue federal officers and agents for violation their constitutional rights. In other words, if your constitutional rights are violated by Trump and his fascist regime, I'm going to help you get justice and stuff. Do you know where I can find a glory hole? Yeah, Scott Wiener. Looks like Mr. Slave from South Park. Scott Wiener. And I think he's running for Nancy Pelosi's seat. Can you imagine this guy in Congress? Oh, man. Especially if they take the majority. Holy shit. No, if he wins and he gets an apartment in it, maybe he can find a couple good pizza places. America First Insight. Lots of congressional drama today. Dan Crenshaw has been banned, the Bond villain, has been banned by the House GOP for international trouble for 3 months due to an alcohol-related incident. Bullshit. He's a member of Spectre, yeah. James Bond villain. Corey Mills is having an investigation open on him. I thought that was part of the deal yesterday with Plaskett. Man, when Trump is just running things and Congress is out of session, I feel like the government runs a whole lot smoother, and there's the drama the drama goes down a couple levels, right? But when Congress is in session, it just seems like, holy crap, these people are nuts. Is this really the best that we have to offer? Dan Crenshaw. Here's another gem right here. Representative Representative Robert Eyeliner Garcia. You ever look at this guy? He's definitely using eyeliner. Any sort of move by the DOJ to destroy records or not give them to us, I think will be met by a good civil servants with good silver. Sorry, tongue-tied tonight. I'm always tongue-tied. I need to work on my delivery. Sorry, I will repeat this again. Garcia says any sort of move by the DOJ to destroy records or not give them to us, I think, will be met with good civil servants responding in a strong way. I don't know why they're so excited about getting these files out because everything that's come out is like turned on them. My goodness. Just like the J6 evidence. Oh wait. Yeah, that was I think Representative Garcia is a self-inflated slimeball who needs to quit stirring up violence. Ask him who does his eyebrows. Yeah, man, look at the guy's eyes. He's definitely like doing drag at night. Can't wash it off. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's a douchebag congressman. Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, Watermelon Head. What does he have to say? Donald Trump is giving big oil free run. Sorry, man. Sometimes I try to read these things too quick. I need to slow down. Sorry. Adam Watermelon Head Shift. Donald Trump is giving big oil free rein to pump unregulated methane into our air. Today, Senator Whitehouse and I forced a vote to stop his license to pollute, to protect the public's right to clean air, and to stop climate disasters. Yeah, that's going nowhere. Yeah, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's what a name, Afton Bean or Ben for Congress. It's like Tennessee 07. It's a plus 22 district in Tennessee. This lady is just basically a nightmare. She's not going to win. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like Republicans don't turn out, and then the Republican wins by like 5 percentage points, and then the Democrats say, oh, this is amended on Trump. This is a Trump 22. They always do that. But Republicans have this record of not turning out in special elections. It's always been the case. From Greg Price, Afton Ben, the Democratic nominee for the upcoming Tennessee 7 special election, says she despises Nashville, the city that she's running to represent in Congress. She looks evil, man. I hate the city. I hate the bachelorettes. I hate the pedal taverns. I hate country music. I hate all things that make Nashville. I hate it. Wow. You're going to garner a lot of support there, you idiot. What else is in the news today? 35, the 35 that you are listening. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leading reports, DOJ and FBI are withholding a treasure trove of information related to Jeffrey Epstein, according to victim attorney Sigrid McCauley. This will never end. It'll never end. It's never going to be good enough, ever. It's just, they could release 100,000 pages, everything that they have, and people will still want more. Yeah. So sick of the Epstein shit. Oh, this lady. I told you there are a few I don't like. Nancy Mace. She's trying to censure. Who's she trying to censure? What's his name? Cody Mills out of Florida. She's just, Democrats or Republicans do this cell phone. They're the kings and queens of self-owning their own party. They'll go after their own, but they won't go after the other party. Like, it's true. George Santos gets kicked out, but all these Democrats get protected. It's just ridiculous. Just so sick of it. Charlie Kirk's death. Yeah, Candace, I think, has claimed everybody's killed Charlie Kirk. There's a Miami mayoral race. Conservatives, man, they don't do special elections. That's how Democrats win, is Republicans just don't show up. RNC Research, See, here's another thing. Okay, when I was a kid, all the way up to a couple of years ago, there were two parties, right? You had the Republican Party and you had the Democratic Party. And there's been, this is a little rant. It'll be about a minute. When you say Democrat Party, it sounds wrong to me. It's democratic. So you have the Republican Party and you have the Democratic Party. You have Democrats and Republicans. So when you say, oh, the Democrat Party, it just sounds weird. I've always hated that. I've always hated how the Democratic Party is called the Democrat Party. It sounds unintelligent. Okay. That was my rant. My first one. Democratic Party, not Democrat Party. Crying out loud. I vote Democrat Party. Democratic Representative Jason Crow has asked 4 times what illegal orders he and his Democrat colleagues are referring to in their video calling for an insurrection. He can't answer because they're lying. Yeah, they put out a video yesterday where they're like, you don't have to follow his orders. We'll support you if you... And the Republicans will do nothing. Nobody gets arrested. It seems like every story, the Democrats are doing something, treasonous, or they're doing something illegal. And what the hell does Pam Bondi do? Okay. There's one pick that I'm leaning towards and not liking. I was okay the first couple months. I'm like, all right, give her time. But now I'm kind of like, fucking arrest somebody already. Do something. Even Trump, I think, is starting to feel that way. Do something. Arrest somebody. Jesus, you had how many people with J6 getting 4 or 5 year sentences for just walking around the Capitol? Where's Antifa gone? They've just disappeared. I guess it's not their season anymore. Talking about people that should be arrested. Stephen Miller responds, it's an insurrection, plainly, directly, without question. It's a general call for rebellion from the CIA and the armed services of the United States by democratic lawmakers. It shows the dangerous moment we are in, indeed. Yeah, in a nutshell, it's like when President Trump orders it, that means it's illegal according to Democrats. Man, if Trump and Bondi and the Republicans in the House and Senate actually had a spine and went after the Democrats, wouldn't that be a sight to see? Kash Patel talking about Congresswoman Sheila Sharifis McCormick. I can't even pronounce her name. I'm not going to try. No one is above the law, indeed. Andy Biggs, good question. Why is a non-voting delegate a sitting member of the House Intelligence Committee in the first place? It's a good question, actually. What's going on in mid-January in Nevada? Because I guess Tim Burchett is coming to town. I like the guy. He's actually somebody I like. I like Tim Burchett. Oh, yeah. It's just I've never been to any of these Republican conventions that they have, or early vote action, or Turning Point. I don't know. They look interesting. Yeah. I like this guy. Majid Nawaz. Now, some of us have longer memory than others. So, dear regulars, who remembers when nobody apart from Trump as president in his first term was calling for justice against Epstein and his clients? Who remembers when the Democrats, the very same Democrats, were now saying that Trump didn't want these files released because he was supposedly implicated? Who remembers when those same Democrats used to call a global VIP pedophile ring nothing but a conspiracy theory? They did. For 4 years, 21 through 24. It's a conspiracy theory. QAnon. It's QAnon. It's a hoax. Yeah, I remember. And yet here we are, interestingly, with all the same people that used to call it QAnon, a QAnon conspiracy theory. Instead, now saying, no longer is it a conspiracy theory. It's the worst case of global VIP pedophilia in history, and they're saying it's all Trump's fault, and they're demanding the release of the information. So, certainly got your interest now, haven't we? So perhaps the Democrats took the bait that President Trump laid for them all along. Point being, it doesn't make too much of a difference when he did it on purpose or not. President Trump, by making the Democrats believe that he had something to hide, made them demand the release of the files. And then, of course, Trump was happy to oblige. I've thought about this theory. And I've talked about this on other shows. So let's lay this out. Was Trump playing the long game here? Was he giving the Democrats rope to hang themselves? Because, I mean, let's go back 1 week. I woke up about a week ago, and everybody on the left was like, oh, Trump, the end is near. He's out. He's gone. I blocked so many accounts because I was just so sick of hearing it, like Harry Sasson. I'm getting sucked off. But in other news, Trump, he's done. This is the end of the Trump administration. 3 emails. That's all they had. And then the Republicans were like, okay, we'll release them all. And everything that they've released, it's all been Democrats doing this crap. 3 emails with Trump where they're taking out information, trying to make him look bad. So I'm curious to see where this is headed. So let's do a little prediction here. Okay. Say on Friday, Pam Bondi says, okay, Trump signed it on Thursday morning, Wednesday night, tonight, and we're releasing all the files. All the victims have been redacted. I don't know if they're supposed to do that, but this is all the information. Now, if the smart thing to do would be to send it not only to Congress for Republicans and Democrats to read. So as soon as the Republicans get it, the first thing they need to do is just send it out. Say, okay, all the files are up for everybody to read. Because you don't want the Democrats to get all this stuff and then twist all the emails and say, whoa, look at this, like they did with those 3 emails. I think the Republicans, as soon as they get it, they need to just send it out. But I would take it a step further. I would say, okay, here's what we're going to do. The files are released on this website. We have taken the names of the victims off this website, but everybody can go look at them. Make it open for everybody to download and to read. If that happens, and all the information on there confirms what we've known all along with Reid Hoffman, Woody Allen, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, everybody who's listed, right? And it's all Democrats. You're going to see the Democratic Party just shut down and never talk about it. And they'll be like, well, let's move on. Let's talk about Venezuela. Or what they will do is they will, maybe Trump's in like 2 or 3 emails where there's information. They're going to take that information and just run on that small piece of information and ignore the rest. But at this point, especially after this last week with Plaskett, and now, Hakeem Jeffries meeting Epstein, and, all of these Democratic, bigwigs named in this, it seems like it is going to indeed backfire on them. Because, that's why they were so pissed last week when the Republicans released everything. Is because it took all of their ammunition away. The mystery was gone. The fact that every single person voted to release the files. They can't go on that. Well, Republicans are hiding it. Pedo Protection Party. That argument does not work anymore. Whatever weapons they had are gone. They only have Trump derangement syndrome left. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. Republican, Democrat, Trump or no Trump, if they release those files, whoever's guilty needs to pay. I think we all can agree on that. But the only difference is if you have Democrats named, it seems like the Republicans in the House and Congress just won't do shit. Plaskett should have been kicked off all these committees for that. But they worked out a backroom deal for Corey Meals. I have no faith in the Republican Party in the House. None. There's a few people I like in Congress. 1 or 2 are Democrats. Would I vote for the Democrats? Probably not. But like I said, Maria Gustamp Perez, who stood up against her party, mad props for her. That's respectful. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, fuck her. Judas. If I had a choice between those two, even knowing that Maria Gustamp Perez, I don't have her name in front of me, was a member of Antifa, or she had some association, just based on what I've seen over the last 3 weeks, if I had a gun on my head and I had to pick one, I would pick Maria Perez in a second, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, man, she's my least favorite member. She's up there with Jasmine Crockett at this point, because I just don't like her. I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I really don't. So those are my thoughts on Epstein. Got about 10 minutes before I kind of shut this down for the night. Democrats did everything they could. This is from Representative James Comer. Democrats did everything they could to turn the Oversight Committee's Epstein documents into Russiagate 2.0. It backfired. Indeed, it did. You deserve to know why Democrats were willing to work with a sex abuser. Byron Donalds accuses Democrats of fomenting insurrection against the duly elected commander-in-chief. Now they're looking to have military officers not follow orders. This is nuts. So what are you going to do about it? Write a letter? You guys are great at writing letters. Sorry if I'm a little angry at the Republicans in Congress, because it just seems like they don't do anything. The Democrats are just insurrectionists at this point. Bondi about the Texas redistricting, the main winners, the dissenting judge basically said that this whole thing has been a sham. Basically George Soros and Gavin Newsom were the ones who were trying to get it overturned. They won. It's going to go to the Supreme Court, but I don't know if it's going to be ready for like I said, 2026, I think the Democrats win the House, even with Texas. But 2028, it's a different story. All right, Ro Khanna. Against the law, the survivors succeeded. Will be the law of the land. Anybody at the DOJ who does not comply and risking future prosecution is risking future prosecution in contempt of Congress. So that opens up that question of they release everything, but it's not what they want to see. So are they going to start playing games when they win the House? You know that's the play. But Trump isn't going anywhere. They need 267 to convict in the Senate. Feels like we're watching mirror presidencies, the first one and then this one. I just hope there's no pandemic in the last year. All right, so we're going to wrap this up a little bit. So let's see what's in the news. I'm just going to see if there's anything else I want to chat about at the moment. President Trump says, breaking. President Trump says he signed the Epstein bill. So guess has he just caught the mouse in the trap? We shall see. We shall see. Oh, okay. He just sent this out. Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democratic politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democratic figures such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times, Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard, sleazebag political activist Reid Hoffman, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Epstein to donate his campaign after Epstein was charged, Democratic Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, and many more. Perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their association will soon be revealed because I have just signed the bill to release the files. As everybody knows, I asked Speaker of the House and Senate Majority Leader to pass this bill in the House and Senate respectively. That's interesting. As everybody knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass this bill in the House and Senate. Because of this, the votes were almost unanimous. At my direction, the DOJ has already turned over close to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. Do not forget, the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page. True. Nor did they ever speak about him. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republican Party, in order to try and distract from our amazing victories, which he just lists. I'm not going to read them all, but it's basically what he's done so far. DEI, women's sports, tax cuts, For years, our great nation had to endure Russia, Ukraine, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, and many other Democratic created witch hunts and scams, all of which have been so terrible and divisive for our country and have been close to confuse, deflect, and distract from the great job the Republicans and the Trump administration are doing. This latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats, just like all the rest have. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. So, Aliakdes. There's no going back. So, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I have my prediction. We'll see. Was this a trap all along? We shall see. Just skimming through the feed. Got a couple minutes left. Yeah, it's crazy. I'll end with this. Just something kind of lighthearted. But if you're watching this, I'm honestly baffled. Are there seriously people who think the 1990 version of the Home Alone house is better looking? So it's crazy. Like if you look at the Home Alone house now, it's all modern, like black and white. It's awful, an unpleasant mix of busy and frumpy. The 2024 version is clean and pleasant. Not even a question. That's a huge improvement. It's just a question of time. I was in high school in the early 90s, and that was kind of the look. I mean, it had like a lot of reds, a lot of greens, just everything, just very 90s looking house. But the way it looks now, it's very clean, it's very cold. I mean, it doesn't even look like the same house. So, I mean, are you going to have a time capsule house? I mean, people live here. So I believe this is in Winnetka, like Kenilworth, like North Chicago suburbs. Yeah, some of these comments are hilarious. I think Gen Xers are nostalgic for a world they love that was ripped away from them. Got to move on. Yeah, there is comfort in the 90s version, but it's over. Time to move on. Nice clickbait. It looks like a fucking operating room. Yeah, it kind of does. I just really hate the wallpaper. They both look like garbage. What house is this? Huh. I'll always be in favor of the top one. I like the Home Alone house. It has a very Christmassy, warm feeling to it. "2024 is characterless. It's a beautiful design for anyone who lacks an opinion or taste." Yeah, fast food restaurants, man. There's like no color. Everything's banal and boring. No, this is good rage bait. No, I think person was just, yeah. 1990 looks like a home. 2024 looks like an office or a mental health facility. 1990 says Home Alone. 2024 says hospital during COVID. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever walked into a house recently and it hasn't changed in 40 years and it just has this like 70s vibe to it. That's strange. That's very, very strange. Well, anyways, this was a short show tonight. I have to take my son to a youth event. So, had a lot going on today. So, tomorrow I will be on at 5 o'clock. I'm going to go a little longer. Friday, same thing. I'm going to shoot for an hour tomorrow, an hour on Sunday. Saturday will be an hour. Just the next 3 days, I'll just be like tonight and yesterday, just shooting down the news, conversation. And then Sunday will be our fun show. I usually do like a movie list or just talk about random shit. It's just like a no politics Sunday, But before I go, do something fun tonight. Have a good meal. Just enjoy life. Get a good night's sleep. And I will see you on the show tomorrow.